Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio's second Tuesday vacation station food, wine, and travel show with the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. And I dare you to do that introduction 10 times real fast. But, today we're excited. The International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association, which we call IFWTWA, it's a lot easier to say and quicker. They always introduce us to all these new destinations and destinations that have been there for years. On these shows, every second Tuesday, we get to go to different places. And today we're going to go to Santa Ana in Southern California. This is right in the heart of Orange County. And, we're very excited to welcome Wendy Haase. Wendy is from Travel Santa Ana. Okay, so you can go to travelsantaana.com, and once you get on their website, you're going to be like me and going, why am I not there already? So welcome, Wendy. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
This is so exciting. I don't think we've ever done a show talking about Santa Ana, and we've all heard about the Santa Ana winds, right? But tell us a little bit as a destination, because when I was on your website, I'm looking like you've got parks, you've got breweries, you've got food, you've got public art, you've got all kinds of things, events happening. So, you know what? I got to give a shout out to IFWTWA for introducing us to you. So we know like, hey, this is a place to, not drive by, but pull over and go stay for a while.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised you didn't know anything about Santa Ana. We're a brand new destination marketing organization as of 2021. And prior to that, the city, which is the second largest in Orange County behind Anaheim, never had any tourism promotion. So we had to create an identity for this destination, and now we're sharing it with IFTA and with other media outlets and visitors to encourage them to, like you said, stop in and visit rather than driving by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, I have always, obviously Santa Ana wins, right? And also just really the diverse cultural history that you have. And I want to talk on that because whenever you have good cultural history, that means you have good food. But you've got historic sites, you've got museums and things, but I always kind of knew you guys as kind of a destination for shopping. Is that, am I right on that? Because that's what just comes to mind, having lived in Southern California a few years ago.
I think you may be confusing us with Costa Mesa, which is our neighbor next door.
Yeah.
And Costa Mesa has South Coast Plaza Shopping Center, which is hugely known for its destination shopping, especially among international travelers. But the good thing is they're right on the border of Santa Ana, so we can attract those international visitors from shopping coming on over to our culinary offerings and what makes Santa Ana unique.
Now, do you have shopping?
We do have shopping. We have Main Place Mall, which is more of the trendy, popular brands. And then we have a number of unique independent stores downtown. In fact, we have one store that's been there for over 70 years. The owner is in his 90s. It's a Western wear store called R&R, and he will custom make cowboy hats and cowboy boots and all kinds of good Western wear and Mexican culture attire.
Oh, cool. And so that's what you're saying, that it's really, a diverse community too. You've got over 60 neighborhoods. Like, wow. And a downtown, which I think is a downtown, kind of like a mix of people living there, working there, or is it mostly kind of a downtown with shops and, does it have like a historic downtown feel?
So it is definitely an historic downtown feel. Santa Ana was the original, and is still the governmental hub for Orange County. So we had the original courthouse, which still stands.
Cool.
And we have a number of historic buildings. Our city is seeing a little bit more of redevelopment where we're getting that mixed use with people moving in downtown with the neighborhood surrounding it. But definitely historic, definitely unique and full of culture. We've got two different food halls. One is McFadden, and one is 4th Street Market.
Oh, we love food halls.
And then
food halls are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
The uniqueness about McFadden is that it has an arcade and a tiki bar, and the arcade has all
What?
the old school video games like Centipede and Pac-Man, and then also
You have
pinball
Pac-Man?
machines.
Seriously?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah. And
cool.
then 4th Street Market is unique in that it does have an outdoor seating area where families can gather with outdoor games like giant Jenga and building blocks for the kids. But every Saturday they have a DJ out there playing tunes. But the restaurants in 4th Street Market are those that are looking, they've either been a food truck and now are looking to build a name in brick and mortar. So this is their starting venture. So the venues in 4th Street Market are evolving and changing every few months as new restaurants come in on the scene and then go off to
Oh,
become a full service restaurant somewhere else in Santa Ana.
that is exciting. Now, tell us a little bit about some of the restaurants, like in general. Like you've got the food halls, which I think food halls are one of the best things that we have in the planet. Like honestly, I love going there and just sampling things and seeing, it's kind of like having food trucks under one roof, right? Little
Yeah,
micro
right.
restaurants, like you're saying. Yeah.
You can go as a
But
group and everyone can try something different.
oh, you said the word group, and I do want to touch on like group facilities for group travel, but we're keeping on the culinary scene. Give us an idea of what the restaurants are like. I can imagine you're going to have some of the best Mexican fare, right?
Yes. Well, Santa Ana has a population of 80% Hispanic, and that is definitely reflected in our dining scene. We have 20 of the best 50 places in Orange County to get tacos, and that's according to the food critic from the Orange County Register. He listed the 50 best places, and 20 of them are in Santa Ana. So we definitely know our tacos,
Oh,
but also all kinds of Mexican food. We also have Vietnamese. We have a lot of culturally rich restaurants. Our community is very passionate and prideful about their cultures. We were founded in 1889, and some of our restaurants have been in our city for generations. So yeah, it's a lot of good food. Deciding where to eat is probably one of the biggest challenges. And we've been curating that culinary offerings through a culinary passport, which we'll be launching in the next month or so, actually in time for the IFWTWA conference to showcase our 20 best restaurants that highlight the different cultures in Santa Ana.
oh, I love that you brought that up because IFTWA has this amazing, they do this annual conference, which is where travel writers and photographers and bloggers get together and hone their craft. But there's also networking involved for the destinations like you, Santa Ana. But it's like everyone gets together and it really helps tourism. And I think, it's so exciting to see tourism back, but we're like it's just different right now. It's definitely back. But I'm excited to see like how next year goes, as everybody starts to get their feet back in. I don't know. There's like a balance that we have to do after this pandemic, right? So,
Yeah.
it's exciting to have everyone together and help the tourism industry, which helps travelers, right? I know where they're going to go, but, that you're going to meet that. So they're going to come to Santa Ana as part of like on that cruise and then come out and see you guys, or are you going on the cruise ship itself?
Maria
Because everyone
Gonzalez.
there, yeah, just real quick, I want to tell everyone there's cruising from Vancouver down to LA. So like this is a very cool, like they're going on a sea cruise, for a conference. So yeah, tell us a little bit about, what's happening with you at the conference.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous because I personally will not be attending, but Maria Gonzalez, our content and community engagement manager, will be representing Santa Ana on the cruise and meeting with members of the International Food, Wine, and Travel Writers Association to share Santa Ana's story and to encourage them to visit in the future. We're not part of a formal post tour, but we're open to welcoming those who want to explore and discover. And we also are looking to do future visits with those, particularly in the Orange County, Southern California region for like a day culinary trip.
I love that. I love the idea of even because you're so, like you're saying, you're kind of like in the heart of Orange County. So it's easy to get to, like even if you're in San Diego, right, to come see you. And that's how I know he's going through driving up and down California. It's coming by, that's how I've always seen the sign. I'm going, I wonder what's really there. Now I'm getting to know, which is exciting. So, pull over, have some food, but like groups, we were touching on that, like group travel. Is that something that, like for people, whether it's weddings or maybe a special interest group, maybe even just, would you have people like for business meetings? Is that something that happens in Santa Ana?
Yes, and it definitely happens in Santa Ana. We have a dedicated director of sales who works with meeting planners and groups, from student youth travel to sports to weddings and quinceaneras, to corporate, to association meetings. Yes, we are definitely a group destination. And you mentioned driving through. Santa Ana used to be the destination between LA and San Diego. And back in the day, many, many decades ago, those traveling would stay in Santa Ana because it was one of the only destinations that was in Orange County. And it was robust. As I mentioned, it was the original like governmental hub. And so back in the day, everyone knew where Santa Ana was.
Mm. So now it's like, hey, go travel, go do business, go have some pleasure. How far are you from things like, I know you've got some parks. So, if maybe families are coming as part of a group event or coming as a destination, what are there for like families in regards to parks? How close are you to the beaches and things like that?
Yeah, well, the good thing about Santa Ana is, like you said, our central location. We're very close. Many of our hotels are within a few miles of John Wayne Airport. We have Amtrak available as well as the main highways. We have 47 parks in Santa Ana, and
Wow.
we're about a few minutes from, I say the nearest beach is Newport Beach, but we are
Cool.
also not far from Huntington Beach. And
Nice.
the good news is we're about 10 minutes from Disney. So families looking to come in and experience an authentic Anaheim, Orange County vacation can stay in Santa Ana, experience what we have, and still go see the mouse.
Oh man, this is cool and easy to get to too. I mean, you're right off the interstates, boom,
Yeah.
off you go. This is cool. So, all right, we've touched on a little bit of food. We've talked a little bit about culture. What about the actual history of Santa Ana? Can you give us some idea of like what we can experience? Because it seems like what I was reading on your site that it was explored by the Spanish as early as 1769. And I'm wondering if the, Juan Bautista de Anza National, well, that's National Historic Trail now, but it was an expedition that went through from Mexico through Tucson, Arizona, and up through California, and founded the Presidio of San Francisco. I wonder if they came through your town. I should say your city, but it feels
Yeah,
town-like.
I'm not sure about that, but
Me
we
neither.
were named, yeah, we were named the county seat in 1889, and we've been referred to as downtown Orange County since then.
Hmm.
And we were discovered by the Spanish in the 1700s, and and then became a farm town with William H. Spurgeon, and he purchased 70 acres and with plans to develop, and he became the city's founder. And there's a building named after him that still stands downtown. We also have several other old structures, including our original unique clock tower. And many of our buildings are listed. I think we have over a dozen buildings listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. And we have some beautiful historic neighborhoods that also have homes that are on the historic registry as well.
Oh, that's really cool. I know a lot of people love to go for architecture, but I was also reading like historic French Park. That sounds like one of those nice neighborhoods to explore.
French Park and Floral Park. I know Floral Park has events that are open to the public. They do an annual holiday tour where some of the homes in the neighborhood decorate, and people can go walking around and seeing all the holiday decorations. And then there's a little festival at the end of the park. And they do that, I believe, for Halloween as well. Beautiful homes, because because being the governmental hub, those homes were once, and still are, from judges and lawyers and government officials back in the day as well as today. So it's a more of an affluent neighborhood, floral and Flower Park.
Okay.
So beautiful Victorian old homes.
Now you're making me think you have flowers everywhere too. Do you? You gotta have, because you guys have good
we're
weather.
Southern California. Flowers are always in bloom.
I know. It's like the coolest thing, you know. The other part I wanted to go back to is also the public art. I was mentioning that when I went on your site, that was the first thing that grabbed my attention was the amount of public art and, you know, murals that you have. Is it mostly murals, for people to experience? And is there like a guide, or is there a walking map, or is it mostly you drive around and like, ooh, cool, I saw another one?
So we have over 200 murals and pieces of public art. The majority of them are murals. Wow. Yeah. And we're the first organization, I should say, to curate all of that content into one place. So we have currently, of those 200 plus, we have close to just over 180 listed on our website right now in a guide format that shows where each of the pieces are located, gives you an overview of the artist, a bio of the artist, the name of the art, a story behind the art, and exact location. So visitors, if they're interested, they can pull that up on their phone or, it's very mobile friendly, but they can see where all of the public art is on the map and go driving around and looking at it or walking around. We've got a lot of it's downtown where you can just walk around in alleyways and on buildings and in inside buildings. But it started with the Chicano movement. And so it's very reflective. Many of our murals are reflective of that scene from the 1960s when they began painting massive images that commemorate the city's colorful multicultural heritage.
Oh my gosh, we have to come see you. That's it. We document public art across the country along with parks and everything, but public art is such a big deal because not only does it employ artists, right, but it's they often tell the stories of a community, and people could come into town by accident and just go, oh, and start to understand where they're at just by looking at public art and murals.
Yeah, you really have to pay attention. Amazing. Yeah, you really have to pay attention because they're everywhere and they beautify. I mean, they're on sides of buildings, they're in doorways, electrical utility boxes. I mean, it's everywhere. So it also beautifies a city. And like with any gallery, ours is always evolving with new art. So I encourage, people to come and check out the public art guide on a regular basis if they're in the city to see where new things are happening.
One thing I mentioned when you were coming on the show is that you seem to be a very diverse in culture, right? Diverse in culture, but it seems also in people, and that you're a very welcoming community. I was on your site and it was saying that that everyone is welcome to Santa Ana, and that you do celebrate LGBTQ pride, and so it's like an open community, and that's an important thing to talk about because sometimes we take it like for granted that, oh, everywhere is, but it's actually not true. We travel the country, we see things. And so I always kind of want to flag that and just letting people know where you are welcome. And when a place actually goes, hey, you are welcome, that's a bigger deal when you really open up the door and say, hey, come over. We're accepting you, welcoming you, and come be part of our family, Well,
we have our community is very passionate and prideful and very community oriented, and I think that leads to the welcoming. People want to share their destination. When I joined this community 2 years ago, and I saw this unique pride and passion. I'm originally from the Midwest, and you see that often in your communities. Like in Wisconsin, where I'm originally from, but having been out in California for the past decade plus, it's not common, in where a lot of people are transient, but in Santa Ana, it's really very passionate and prideful community. And it's not only generations, but it's also, skewing on the younger side. People are coming, I think our median age is around 34. So,
oh, wow.
That's good for a city with a lot of pride and passion and a lot of history and culture to carry that through.
That's really nice. So it's like a new torch, that's
Yeah.
being, carried through, and that you have history as a backdrop, and taking care of it, yet very youthful. And I think and so now that makes sense, because I know you like craft beer, that you're from Wisconsin, Listen, I
Yes.
love your state.
It's in my
I'm just going to
blood.
say, listen, all I know is, you know what? You don't have to do those winters. We've done the winters. We've done the spring is just as bad as the winter. I'm just saying the early spring is like, don't be fooled into going there early.
No.
I have
I used to go
twice.
back for Christmas I used to go back for Christmas and Easter every year, and Easter weather was far worse sometimes than Christmas.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. We spent a Christmas in Madison, and the snow that wasn't supposed to really come. So yeah, it did.
Trust
It
me,
did.
my birthday is in April, and as a kid, there's been a couple of times where I had a blizzard on my birthday in April.
Oh, well, then, you didn't have to go to Dairy Queen, did you? Sorry. But isn't it kind of nice to be in Southern California and not have to worry about snow? And it's what I'm saying, saying there's flowers year round. I was starting to giggle in the back of my head there, because I'm going, not in some of the places we've been lately. So, to be able to, I think for sun seekers, it sounds like a joyous destination over the holiday season, quite frankly, is to get over there,
Oh,
you know?
well, and our holiday season starts in October with, we've got events all year long celebrating different cultures and heritages. But we have one of the larger Dia de los Muertos festivals at the end of October, early November. But we also have, on a monthly basis, our art walk, which is the first Saturday of every month, where all of our galleries, we're very arts and culture focused community, as reflected in our 200 murals. But our arts and culture are people of color and LGBT artists. And we have an art walk on the first Saturday of every month that is, the galleries are open for free. There's vendors, street performers, entertainment, and also the dancing in the streets, which is literally, our plaza becomes a dance floor. And from 7 to 10 p.m., there's one of 3 different dance styles being played by a DJ from salsa, bachata, and kumbaya, and the community comes out and dances. And it's something very special to see and be a part of, because personally, I think dancing is a very joyous form of engagement. And yeah, so if people are looking to come out right now, we have several hotels offering specials for October 1st through December 31st, so you can come in and celebrate the holidays in Santa Ana.
That's awesome. That's awesome. One thing you touched on April. So were you born on 420? I just had to ask that. I was just kidding, but
No,
I had to bring up 420.
I was born. Yeah.
I just wanted to go there because I did see on your website that you guys are a cannabis destination. And I'm loving seeing people, like, just when we talk about LGBTQ pride and being like, hey, we're open and welcome and friendly. It's the same thing for cannabis, and we're so still like new about it. And when we travel full time, it's like you don't know who, what, and where. It's like, okay, unless someone we need to have a cannabis flag. I'm just saying there probably is one.
Yeah.
But to really let people know that you are that way. Do you have dispensaries? Like what is the scene for Santa Ana with that?
So Santa Ana was the first city in Orange County to allow and legalize dispensaries. And we're only one of 2, and the other destination has only about a handful. We have 27 different dispensaries in Santa Ana, and we are building our cannabis tourism program, because it's about educating, right?
Mm-hmm.
This cannabis isn't, especially in California, it's not going to go away. And so it's about educating, because the same people that consider themselves foodies when they travel, or like myself, a craft beer lover, also want to experience cannabis and are open to that. The people who want to experience cannabis are affluent and they have money and they like to try new things. It's the image that we've had in our head of it being a Woodstock with, dreadlocks and hippies. That's not what it is. And it plays such a big role, not just cannabis, but CBD in our wellness. And we're all about wellness and self-care. And so it's about experiencing that and discovering what works for you and trying new things. And our tourism program right now, we have a number of articles on our website that explain know before you go. So it gives you kind of a lay of the land of what you can expect in Santa Ana. And also how to approach trying cannabis or CBD. And then we highlight, right now we have 7 different dispensaries we're highlighting, because it's not just a business listing, but it's giving you information about how that dispensary is different, and as a visitor, what sets them apart from a different dispensary and what kind of experience you're going to have. Is it local cannabis grown products? Is it, what kind of experience you're going to have? What's the atmosphere? What's the vibe in that particular dispensary? And our plan is to build on this. We're working with a very experienced cannabis consultant who is helping us build cannabis programming around this, from consumption lounges. Our city is actually right now in the process of securing a cannabis event for next June that would be both for cannabis business to business, but also consumers. So
wow.
it's a huge opportunity and a huge experience, something different that you can't get just everywhere for those visiting Santa Ana.
This is exciting. I mean, I know it's a very historic city, but it seems so fresh and like exciting and new. You know what I mean? From my perspective, listening to you, going on your website, and now I'm like, okay, man, there's stuff going on, and from in a good way, a good balance, how you're putting it together. And it just seems that there's a lot of opportunity. Is that something you're seeing in the tourism makeup too, of attracting people to be part of that tourism community? It just seems, I know it's a city, but it seems like a friendly little town where everybody's working together.
For the most part, I'm glad that's the optics. With there's always the behind the scenes things that you don't want.
Yeah, sure. But there's no community without drama. Okay. But you know what I mean? It just feels like, people are realizing that, hey, let's make something of what we have.
Yeah. And I think that from a destination marketing professional, I've been in this industry now 24 years.
Yeah.
I looked at this opportunity. Yeah, I've been around. This isn't my first destination marketing organization or my first.
This is why she's a craft beer enthusiast. I'm just saying, anybody in the tourism industry is. But anyway.
But coming into this and being, having this opportunity, I was fortunate because I can say it 100 times. The thing that for me resonates is this passion and pride of this community. And it has all of this. It had the events that were taking place monthly, annually, in celebration of all these cultures. It has this public art. It has these amazing restaurants. And the story just wasn't being told. So I'm fortunate that I walked into this opportunity where all of these wonderful things are going on, and I help elevate and tell that story. And so, travel writers, media are always asking when you go to a media event, so tell me what's new. Everything is new in Santa Ana because no one's ever written about it from a tourism angle.
Huh. Well, you know what? That's something that Nancy and I find all the time. And, as we travel, we'll go somewhere and they're like, well, this isn't tourism. Why? And I'm like, what do you mean? Look at what you have. And I think when you're everybody start living in a community, you start to take things for granted, not meaning to, right? And not it's just part of where you live, and you're looking at from, a living there set of eyes versus people coming in, unless it's friends and family coming to town. Oh, let me take you to my favorite restaurant, but it's not, and a lot of times it's not considered tourism. You know what I mean? And yet tourism is such a economic, beneficiary. I mean, it is like every community needs tourism, we believe. And especially when the community buys into it and understands this helps pay for schools, it pays for so many different things, including your parks and stuff like that. That's a really good balance when you have the community understand tourism and tourism understanding the community. It has to work together. And it's like, it allows for special programs to come in and beautify communities. It is amazing. And it just sounds like you guys are in like a really positive way up, with what you're doing. It's exciting. I'm excited. I want to
Yeah.
come. I want to come hang out. I mean, I want public art and I want Mexican food and I want beer, and I don't know. I'm not going to say no to the cannabis, stuff either. I'm thinking that's some fun, education is a huge part of it. I think that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I know, there's culinary things that happen with cannabis. I mean, as we travel, we do our tourism work, but we pet sit too, so we can do interviews. And it wasn't our dogs barking, by the way. Those were yours. But listen, CBD is used for dogs all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just for humans. CBD is something, yes, you can smoke a joint or whatever, but CBD is being used in so many ways for pain relief, muscle aches, all kinds of things. So I think that's
Yeah.
a
And
very exciting
yeah.
thing for people to get involved with.
Well, and CBD is not mind altering. CBD is holistic, and it is either topical or digestible, but you can get health benefits from CBD and not be exposed to cannabis. There's a difference. And that, again, it
Yeah.
goes back to educating.
Yeah. I think that's an exciting thing. And when you have education, then it takes away some of that stigma, like you're saying. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing. So now what I want to know is, what is your perfect day? Like, someone comes to Santa Ana, like say a family, your family comes in from Wisconsin. What are you going to do? How are you going to show them, like, hey, my new town is cool. Let me take you around and show you the coolest sights. What would you do for a day? Like, if you're, everybody gets those drop-ins once in a while. It's like, hey, I'm
Oh,
in the
yeah.
neighborhood.
Well, we have Bowers Museum, which is one of the largest collections of art in Orange County, and it's been around forever, and it's one of my favorites. It has a collection of, what is it? I always mess this up. It's the headhunters and the spiritual exhibit. Island Pacific.
Oh,
One of my favorites.
okay. Ooh.
The Island Pacific exhibits. So I'd probably take him to the Bowers Museum and then head downtown and go to 4th Street Market and grab some food. And then we've got some great bars and nightlife in Santa Ana, that live music. We've got, you talked about beer. I definitely take him to Cervecito, one of the local breweries downtown.
Cool.
And hopefully it's a Saturday when Art Walk is going on, because that's not to be missed. But yeah, we've got a lot of great nightlife, and I think that's something that we want to, moving forward, is focus on. Is, we have the food and we have murals, but we have great nightlife. And I know, the younger generation, people with, not traveling with children, might want to enjoy a live band, some activities out in the evening, and that's something we're going to be focusing on. So I definitely take my friends and family to the nightlife in Santa Ana.
Ooh, sounds good, man. That's something I really missed during the pandemic. Music. Live music. It's not the same on Facebook Live, it's just not the same as being there and having that energy and drinking that beer and, like, yeah, so that's exciting to hear about the music scene. Now, I'm going back to the dogs, and I brought them up on purpose, not just for CBD, but, is Santa Ana dog friendly? Are there dog friendly parks or places for people traveling in, dog friendly hotels, lodgings? I mean, I know a lot of places have Airbnbs. I don't know what the lodging, portfolio looks like for Santa Ana, but are dogs welcome?
Dogs are pretty much welcome in Southern California. I mean, we eat outside pretty much year round, al fresco. So it's hard not to find a restaurant where dogs aren't welcome. As far as accommodations, we have 17 hotels, motels that are part of Travel Santa Ana's portfolio, and several of them are dog friendly as well. We are getting our first official dog park. I'm not exactly sure when that is opening, but dogs on leashes are always welcome in parks as well. But yeah, I mean, Southern California as a whole is pretty dog friendly. That was one of the things that I was taken aback by, coming from the Midwest. I'm at the shopping center and there's a dog in the middle of Nordstrom. I'm like, what? But now you get used to it. You see them in the grocery stores. You see them all over. And I'm a dog person, so I don't mind it.
No, I
You guys
think dogs
prefer
should be
dogs over
everywhere.
people, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like in the cats. Like, I mean, I'm a cat. We're animal people, period. And that's the thing. It's like, okay. And then are there dog friendly beaches? I'm just trying to think back. I
There's a
mean,
dog. There's
Huntington.
actually Huntington Beach has the most popular dog-friendly beach in Orange County. It's
Oh,
There's dogs. You can see it from Pacific Coast Highway as you're driving through Huntington Beach. You see all the dogs running and playing on the beach down there.
I love that. And like, if you have retrievers and, um, you know what I mean? Like they literally smile in the water.
Yeah,
Like you can,
dogs
even
that
if
like
they're holding a
water. I have
stick.
two. Yeah, I have two dachshunds. I'm not sure that they're water bound.
Oh, no, they're little weenies. No,
Yeah,
they're gonna float on their ears. Yeah, I love dachshunds. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I love
yeah.
dachshunds. And they're smart. They are little hunters too, man. Don't, they are little, we know some very astute dachshunds. They have
Well,
that
they were
wise
bred to
look.
kill badgers.
Yeah, that's right. I know like some elder dachshunds. You go walking there, elder, la la la, and then all of a sudden something moves. Holy cow, what happened to that dog? Like,
Yeah.
boom, I'm going after it. I'm like, but you're so sweet. How did you do this? Oh, don't underestimate me. Here's your first lesson of doxies, right?
Yeah. I have one who's on squirrel patrol all the time,
Oh
and they
man, I love it.
torment her.
I love it. I love it. Oh, listen, dogs are like, and I think even, because that's why we pets it. Like being on the road all the time, anytime we saw anybody with a dog, we're like, can we come play with your dog for a second? Like we miss, you need that. And I know that even when you're traveling, like if you're a dog, a pet parent of any fur animal, I don't care if it's a horse and you're traveling and you can do a detour to see horses or dogs or somehow,
Oh yeah.
I'm going to choose the dog friendly restaurant just so I can like say hi to a dog. You know what I mean? It's
I
like
I actually have a baseball cap that says "Hold my beer while I pet this dog."
see, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, when dogs take over beer, that's the serious issue here. It's the real thing. They do involve, but it has been a real pleasure having you on the show and getting to learn more about Santa Ana. And, I promise not to say Santana again, but Santa Ana, I mean, this is so exciting. We definitely will have to do a detour on